Hi there, Cosmic Family. My name is Yahlia in this incarnation. The moon has already entered in its domicile, Cancer. And well, there it invites us to reconnect with what is nourishing for us and nourishing spaces inside and outside. And it is where Jupiter, the planet of expansion, and Venus, the planet of desire, associated with desire, are transiting. There's quite a distance between them because the last week they made this conjunction, this union. They had this union, but well, they left us an experience that is going to be different for each one, but mainly it is speaking to us of honesty with a desire of the soul, whether because we need to generate emotional space, energetical one, to enter in this vibration in affinity of form with that desire, whether because there is a recognition of relationship situations or with resources that are not being felt nourishing anymore. For others, maybe it was a manifestation, this represented a manifestation of that desire. And in other cases, it is about continuing with the process of expansion, attending to what is important right here, right now, because life is right now. It is not in the future, and we could lose the true connection and the presence when we are focusing with anxiety in what is coming. That is very different from transiting this moment with the will of walking forth, of discovering what else is possible, which is a Jupiterian experience, of adventure and exploring. Closing ourselves to what life can bring, it is like the other face of the imbalance, the attachment to everything, being steady, still the same, or the attachment of an old version of ourselves, of our lives. Now, the past could be something that we could resignify. The more aware that we are turning, we could discover new lights in our history. Since, Jupiter has entered in Cancer, I am deepening in and studying and learning new things about the historical aspects of Argentina, which is my country, and also the world, very specific things, because the story, the history is something that embraces many things, many topics. So it is quite amazing how the spirals of other times are manifested in this one, because even there are many situations that are giving us the warning of repetition of collective patterns. There are always particularities in the instance that we are going through at the present moment that could be a creative way and a potential that leads us to manifestations in a new order. And this happened in other times too, where souls incarnated encouraged themselves to reveal their own purposes and to contribute with their light to all the people that came after them. And well, even though there is a system of reincarnation nowadays, many people are putting the quality of prison in the physical body to that system of reincarnation, which is not a new concept. In fact, communities in the Middle Age that were considered heretical cults by the Church of Rome and persecuted because of other several factors. They used these ideas, but well, some of them, they were groups that considered everything that was terrestrial associated to evil. There was a rejection of the physical as a form of a spiritual elevation, which I think it is proposing an opposition, because when we are rejecting human experience, we cannot integrate what this moment is offering. And we are losing the opportunity to live spirituality in this form, that beyond that, it is a choice of the soul. But I can feel empathy, and I can comprehend, because I also experimented that rejection of the world. On the other side, the institution of the church that they were opposed to was proposing to this resignation to conform, not to look our own spiritual path. develop this resignation with certain sufferings, waiting for an illusory heaven. And these visions were different, but they shared, from my perspective, the distortion of what being incarnated actually represents. Now, there are other people that think that reincarnation is a false belief because they haven't had a contact with this, and in many cases the mind closing to that, it is blocking the possibility. And not always, because there are people that are destined to experiment this. This man, Brian Weiss, this master, was an example of a person that initially was very inclined to this excessive rationalism, and life pushed him to break with that. And as him, many of us have experimented the memories and the sense, the purpose that this has, not only in the individual evolution, but also collective. Nothing of the things that we have transited and done were in vain. And all the genuine wisdom that we are extracting, it is carried in the soul, even gifts and talents. And if those memories are reaching us, it is because of a specific reason: to live this life, this incarnation, as the most important one, and to reconnect with what we came here to do. In fact, I think that when we are trying to, look for past lives with that intention of escaping of this one without a purpose for the now, there is not much that is being revealed, and vice versa. The information is coming. In my case, I did a regression once, but in the last years, that information was descent in a very organic way, without even asking myself for that, because it was necessary to move forward in the path. So in the end, identities are in essence the forms that God or cosmos are taking to experiment plurality and to live the interaction in the existence between the fragments in cycles. Everything responds to cycles: the planets, our body, everything that is born from light and descends, it is coming back to light. And our planet is ending and starting a major cycle. Even though at moments we could see certain situations so dense, increasing, but I think they are not increasing truly. They are being visibilized, because only what we have identified, only what we have illuminated can be transformed. And that's why, despite the challenges, the pain, the fears that we could have experimented, the human distortions of our own or of other people, with the sun in its last days of Leo, we are called to shine, without caring how many times we have thought about turning ourselves off. The intention of the seeker can always lead us to a reencounter with light, to give steps that respond to that call of the heart. Thank you, everyone, and sorry always for my English. Ciao, ciao.